Welcome everyone to a Feminine Friday here with Angelique Coster and questions about Accunect and self-care of Accunect, right? So, in the spirit of Easter, happy Easter to all of those who celebrate Easter, but in the spirit of the beautiful fluffy bunny, I am wearing my fluffy jersey with my bunny on it. And that's really just because I love bunny rabbits. Like, they're so freaking cute with their little hops and their little tails and things. But anyway, so today's topic is all about the two polarities: masculine, feminine, left, right, hard, soft. And there's really this balance of the scale, right, where there's one and the other. And we're going to be exploring a bit more about that kind of energy. So we're going to be exploring the energy of masculine and feminine and what that actually means. Because a lot of the time people assume that masculine feminine means male or female, which isn't necessarily correct. Because what we recognize as masculine energy and feminine energy is very different to what we recognize as male and female. And for example, I am a woman, however, I actually sit very closely in masculine energy more than I do in feminine energy. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a few moments. So there's these two polarities. We get masculine, feminine, hard, soft, individual, community. We get night and day, right? So there's all of these cycles that we have, and one feeds the other. And that's where we often see the yin yang symbol coming in, right? Because yin yang is essentially showing us those two balances, the logical and the creative. It's all about having those two as polarities, where it's shaping the two energies. And I can feel I'm creating chi balls on the video again today. So there's these two polarities that happen, and one feeds the other one. So they're continuously turning into each other. They're continuously feeding into each other, and they're working closely together because one needs to balance the other one. One is giving, one is receiving, one is doing, one is resting. So there's this continuous pull release that happens between the two of them. However, what ends up happening most of the time is that we tend to get stuck in one or the other. So we get stuck either in very masculine energy, or we tend to get stuck in very feminine energy. So I'm going to run through a few of the things, because this is actually what you would learn a lot about when you come to a class with me. So when you come to a self-care class, we generally teach you how to balance masculine, feminine mind, as well as integrating that back into the body, because the body is made up of that as well. So right side of the body, masculine, left side of the body, feminine. And that's why we have a strength and a weakness in each, is because the neurological pathways and energies are stronger on the one side because the energy is supporting that side versus on the other. Okay, so for me, personally, I'm a very masculine energy individual, which means that I have a high tendency for logical thought. I'm really funny when it comes to schedules and deadlines and putting things in place. So there's very little room for, not really error, but allowance, right? So there's very little room for me to allow certain things if it's not in my schedule. I'm very odd in that sense, okay? So generally when my schedule gets disrupted, I go into a frenzy, because that is part of masculine energy. It's all about structure, routine. It's all about creating the box. It's all about the potential of that box. So being able to plan, thinking ahead, creating, in the sense of doing things. So it constantly looks for that improvement, which is very judgmental. So it's very, very different to the feminine energy, which tends to be people who really just can sit and allow themselves to go with the flow, right? So it's that going with the flow aspect that is feminine energy. It's the creative, it's community. It's all about nurturing and emotions and, feeling things instead of thinking about things, which is masculine, which is the thinking, right? So there's these two opposites the whole time. Masculine being the sun, feminine being the nighttime. And that is because the moon has that night energy, that feminine energy, and the sun is a very masculine energy because it's doing, it's giving, it's brightening, so there's these two constant areas, and the whole purpose of them there is to keep us balanced so that we're not in one or the other. However, I find that if I don't do my MF balancing often enough, I tend to get stuck not only on one side of my body, but I also get stuck on one side of my mind, which means that when I'm encountering a problem, I'm needing to problem solve, I'm needing to really get work done, and I'm stuck in either or, it creates an imbalance. So if I'm stuck in feminine energy for the day and I don't know how to balance my mind correctly for it to think as a whole unit, I could sit here staring at nothing the whole day, because then all I'm doing is being in the now and feeling emotions and just being in this present state of flow, which literally does not get anything done whatsoever, right? So the beauty of learning how to balance this is learning how to control and bring in that integration between the two sides so that we can think completely. We can think logically and creatively at the same time. We can feel emotionally but think logically. So it pulls and it creates that inner and upper balance, or lower and upper balance. We can then be part of the collective but also work as an individual. So there is that constant communication and relationship between masculine and feminine balancing, which is very, very important for us as balanced individuals. And then taking that masculine and feminine even further is bringing that in, not just from the mind, but integrating it into the body, so that not just my right hand can be used. So I used to only be able to write with my right hand. Now I can't write with my left hand yet, but I can actually stir things with my left hand, whereas before I couldn't, because I was completely masculine orientated. I was completely on the logical side of my mind and of my body. And you'll probably wonder why I keep bringing in the balancing aspect, right? It's because you'll know from any kind of situation, if you're driving in your car and your left side of your car has one wheel out of alignment, it throws the entire car out of alignment, right? Then suddenly your steering goes wonky. Then suddenly you find that it gets worse and worse and worse, and then you can damage your rims or your tires. So just having that one out of alignment creates an entire escalation of other aspects, right? So bringing alignment into the body, where we're integrating being able to think with both sides of the energy, masculine and feminine, the soft and the hard, and allows us not only to be able to approach things completely, so we're able to then see it as the whole entirety of what it is, instead of only seeing it through one side or the other. We're then able to look at it from all perspectives and calculate from all perspectives, with knowing and feeling and collective, as well as individual and logic and processing counterparts. So there's that complete balance between the two sides. But it also integrates the body more completely, and when the body is more integrated, then certain feelings and emotions are able to process properly, which then creates a whole nother level of being able to effectively take in energy and look at things as they should be looked at. I actually had a thought that was going in there, and then it completely went phew. So working with masculine and feminine isn't something that we just see as man and woman. I know a lot of men who get stuck in feminine energy. Just as I said earlier, I myself am mostly more stuck in my masculine energy than I am in my feminine energy. And it has been quite a journey for me to experience feminine energy. And what that means is letting go of things. What that means is surrendering to the now, surrendering to emotion. What that means is allowing certain things to happen without getting stuck in the structure of how it needs to happen, which is a masculine trait. Or my other thoughts is back. Okay, so why we want to balance these two is because they look at the world in two very distinct ways. The first side, which is the masculine, is usually the one that asks what is possible. So it's constantly looking forward. It's looking to the future. It's looking at why we want to do that. And that's generally why I find in my experience with men, they are very good at looking statistically at where things will be going, right? That's why Einstein, the Bells, the Abrahams, and all of them, they're really, really good at looking at things and then mathematically calculating where it's going. Whereas most of the time, women tend to be really good at community building, right? That's why a lot of what we choose to do ends up being with teaching or doing nails or doing beauty. And it's not because it's a female thing, it's because it's about community and collection, where we tend to be more in tune with that if we're in tune with our feminine energy. And the whole reason of that is it looks at what is appropriate. So feminine energy is all about the timing of things. The when, the where, the how, is it appropriate? And that's why woman, you'll often see it happening in relationships. The woman will go, shh, not now. Like, they can sense, like, okay, don't say that right now. Like, if you say this, you're going to offend someone, right? So that's that whole, is it appropriate aspect, instead of the whole, is it possible? Because the masculine looks at the possibilities and the feminine looks at the appropriateness, right? So it's two very distinct differences, along with the other aspects such as creativity, collective, individual, etc., etc. The current state of the nation is fostering a lot of people in feminine energy. Yes. So if you're someone who's very aware of energy at the moment, feminine energy has been reaching a point or a state where it's really having to nurture and nourish, right? So as Sean pointed out, at the moment we're being forced into feminine energy, but this isn't surprising at all, because over the past few years, women have made a large shift more towards masculine energy, and it's been coming for a while. So when I say a few years, probably 20 to 30 years, there's been a build-up of feminine movement where we've become more masculine energy, right? We're more doing, we have more rights, we have more of these three-dimensional, this reality, this current dimension, earthly things. We have changed a lot of energy here. But with this has had to come a shift where we have to move back into what we call collective consciousness, right? That connection, that oneness energy that we all possess, where we're all linked into the subconscious, into our 0-point fields, and we're all connected to each other. And we're having to more understand how we're connected to each other, and we're having to understand how to connect to each other, because there's a big disconnect as well. And whenever there is stillness, in one of my other videos, I used the example of, if you've got a glass of water with dirt in it, or a bottle with dirt in it, and you allow that sediment to rest, it usually drops to the bottom, and then you get really clear water. So it's clear at the top, and then there's this layer of dirt, right? And what's happening at the moment with all these new changes and energies and shifts that we're going through, we've shaken that bottle. So all that sediment is now filtering back up through the water, which means that now is the time that we're being invited to look at our issues and our wounds. So I'll be posting two separate links in the comments today. One is for a goddess retreat, which is happening woman only. There is a masculine and feminine wound healing as well with Accunect founders Kaimi Pilipovic. So he's doing the masculine feminine retreat, and Sarah Simonis is doing the goddess circle. And why we're going through this is to heal our feminine and masculine wounds. And that doesn't mean that we're fixing men or women. It simply means that the energy has been wounded. It has been dirtied. It has been covered with all these unnecessary filters. And at the moment, we're energetically scrubbing all of that closed and stitching it back together. So we're stitching back together the areas that have been neglected and areas that have been buried, right? So that we're not ending up with more sediment at the bottom of the bottle. We're actually ending up with pure filtered water, right? So that is currently the experiences that we're having. And this current state of awareness where we're all having to be stuck at home is a beautiful invitation to start looking at these wounds and start looking at these processes that are happening to us, where we're able to invite ourselves to go and say, okay, well, as a woman, how do I feel about things? Or as a man, how do you feel about things? And to really start exploring masculine, feminine energetically, but also the roles that we have placed on each gender, because often we find ourselves in roles that we aren't completely comfortable with because our energy actually invites something else. But this comes with some communication, some understanding, and some trust with our inner guidance and our inner being, right? So that's the practical aspects. Usually, I would say if you want to go and explore this on your own, there are a multitude of ways to go and explore and to balance this. However, it's usually quite tricky to do this on your own. I know because I've tried myself to do this on my own, and I come to a certain point and then I really do need some external assistance. So I personally have taken the masculine feminine retreat with Kaimi Pilipovic, and I will be taking the Goddess Inner Circle with Sarah Simonis. So I'll be posting those links in the comments. And I actually want to send a shout out to Willow, who is I think she's Australian. Sorry if I get it wrong, Willow. I will be posting something that she shared, which is absolutely beautiful because it was a post that she shared, or a prayer. So it was a forgiveness prayer. It's the Ho'oponopono, and she did one specifically for the forgiveness of men and masculine energy. And if you saw, today's title for me was Feminine Friday, and that's because for me, I've been in a Feminine Friday state. I've been in the collective now. I did nothing I was supposed to do. I did not follow my schedule. I was 100% in the now every single moment of today. So all my structures and all my masculine energy items went straight out the window. Okay, so for me it was Feminine Friday, and I really want to honor the post that she made to say, thank you for that, because there was something very profound and beautiful about the way that she forgave men. And it's not in a sense where she asked for forgiveness because of what they did wrong, but of the wrong that we have done to you. So the feminine is needing to forgive the masculine, and the masculine is needing to forgive the feminine. So there's a whole bunch of healing and shifts happening at the moment in regards to masculine and feminine. And as per usual, this is about Accunect as well. So I actually have a ton of masculine feminine aspects that I can assist to work with. I also know which organs are masculine, which are feminine. So if you want to learn more about that, you can either do one-on-one sessions with me. I'm still running the special since lockdown has been extended. My specials have been extended as well since it is for the lockdown period. So for a one-on-one session with me, an individual session is 500 Rand. 5 sessions is 2,025 Rand. And then we have self-care, where we teach you how to self-balance masculine, feminine brain and integrate that back into the body. We also teach you how to balance each of the organs, masculine and feminine. We teach you which ones are masculine and feminine, and we teach you how to then balance that in an effective 3-minute routine every single day to bring you back into heart-centeredness and that alignment between mental space, emotional space, and physical space. So we teach that to you in self-care, along with the 8 Accunect healing principles and the KISS technique, which is our emergency procedure technique that is great for migraines and if you're accidentally burning yourself on the stove with all this new having to learn or keep ourselves out of boredom cooking shows that are happening online everywhere. So we've got all of these things for Accunect Self-Care, which is 2,000 Rand. The next class is next Saturday, so the 18th of April. It is online, so make sure to book your spot. You do get a certificate and a manual as well after lockdown is completed, and that's basically just so that you have all the information there for you, which is great. So you always have your manual to refer back to the information, as well as to congratulate you with a certificate to graduate you as a self-care student because you took the responsibility to take care of yourself, which is not only just empowering, but it's super, super cool that we're rewarding you for taking care of you, which is the most important person in your reality. So that's 2,000 Rand, plus I'll still be doing the 3 free sessions whenever you book for your self-care. So book for the 18th of April, which is 2,000 Rand, and you get a bonus 3 one-on-one sessions with me to the value of 2,400 Rand, which really is there to just boost you into your personal development, personal growth, and transformation. Guys, and like I said, I would love to hear what it is you would want in a group. Like I said, my schedule went out the window today. I was going to post that today, so I'll be posting it tomorrow or so, and I really want to hear what would make you want to join my group. What are the topics that you would want to learn about, right? So because I could then get other people to collaborate so that we can really bring the most to your sessions in the group. The videos will be changing, so these ones live at 9 p.m. every day will be a slightly bit more marketing related versus the ones in the group that will be more informative. So those changes are going to take place as well, so I would love to hear about that. Also, we have a YouTube channel for all the previous videos, so we'll also be using YouTube as certain videos will be posted there versus on Facebook. So go look us up at Accunect Healing. I will post it in the comments as well. So if there are any questions, now is the time to ask them, because I'll be hanging around for another 2 minutes or so, and then that is our Feminine Friday. Any questions? Waiting for questions is always the most awkward part. I'm like, is someone typing or are they not typing? I can't see. Okay, since I don't see any questions popping up, I'll give it another moment or so to see if there are. If you're needing any support emotionally, physically, or mentally, make sure to go and look at our previous videos. There is a video, I don't remember which day, I think it was Silly Sunday, where we did the emotional balancing technique for any depression, anxiety, etc., etc. So if you're feeling like you need any emotional support, go and check out that video. There is a balancing in there for it, which is absolutely great to use if you're feeling emotional in any area at the moment, especially with worry or fear, stress, control, etc. Best technique to ground feminine in this times. Yes, absolutely. Make sure to ground feminine. If you don't know how to do that, come and speak to us in person. Well, not in person, but in inbox or comment if you're looking for something specific to assist with, because there are various techniques, so it will depend on what it is you're specifically needing. And that's the whole purpose of Accunect as well, is we personalize sessions for you. Also, go check out our previous video from last night, as I'm still waiting for people to try and grab those 2 sessions that are available for free. Well, not entirely for free. There is an energy exchange of like, share, comment. So go and check out yesterday's video to make sure you like, share, comment for your chance in getting that free session. There are 2 of them to give away. So we will be announcing winners of that on Sunday. So make sure to invite people who you think need physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual support at this time to get that session for them. Okay, so go and watch yesterday's video, which is all about that support that we need right now, and how to change perspectives is yesterday's video. So go and check how to change perspectives on Thoughtful Thursday, and we are here in Feminine Friday. So have a beautiful evening further, and if you're celebrating Easter, happy Easter. Do you have a technique to anchor the balance between masculine and feminine? Yes, in Accunect we do. However, that is something we teach in our self-care class. So you would have to join our self-care class for me to be able to share that technique with you, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you want to look at it. So yes, we do have a way to anchor that, but it is something that I unfortunately can't share on the video. If you do, however, have a technique that you would like to share with anyone for this, that they wouldn't have to attend my class for, you're welcome to share it down below. Awesome. Have an awesome evening, everyone, and we hope to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Remember to go and look at our Thoughtful Thursday for a free session. Like, share, comment to try and get that session for yourself or for someone that you feel absolutely needs balancing in either physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual aspects. Cool. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Bye-bye.